Well, hey guys, welcome back to the Bass Piper channel. Welcome back, Rumble, for all my followers over there. Hey, I just wanted to just get on here for a few minutes today. I just come back off of a walk, and we got a cloudy Monday afternoon here in Virginia. It's in the 60s. It was supposed to hit the 70s, but I don't think we're going to get there. And so Bass Piper's been on a walk. I starting to get my walks back in, and started today. We're gonna try to get some of this blubber off me, and don't take long to put it on, but it sure does take a while to get it off. Y'all ever experienced that, or is that just something I have a defect in? Um, but I've been going to the Y for a little while, but because of the church situation, I'm not taking a salary right now from the church. I'm just living. My income's just coming off of love offerings for this new work, so it's not a lot. I've taken a drastic cut in my weekly salary. So I canceled out my Y stuff for right now. We didn't need to be spending that money. So I'm just going old school the way I used to lose it. And that is just walking. I've got a bicycle up here in the air in the garage that I've got to go take and get it to a bike shop. They got to take Bass Piper's handlebars and put another extension on it to get me more up this way instead of riding like this. I want to try to ride like this. And Bass Piper needs a little bit more comfortable saddle than them little box things, they little triangle things you got to ride on. So we got to get that to the shop. Miss Bass Piper's got her bicycle down, and we just got to get new tires on that. She rides more of a beach bike style. She likes that. So we're gonna try. We're gonna try again to get out here and get some poundages off. It's one thing about doing these videos, guys. Some of you guys that have been doing them for the last year or two, what's fun to do, but sometimes it isn't fun to look at, is if you've put on weight, like Bass Piper, and I'm the heaviest I've ever been. I don't mind telling you. I'm touching 285, 287. The heaviest I've ever been. I'm on a six. Well, I was 6'1", so I'm probably 6 foot now frame. So, but my average has been around 235, 240. But over the last 4 years, Bass Piper's life has changed drastically, and I don't feel like I've picked up more eating. But I have, or either my age is catching up and metabolism is slowing way down. I hadn't been exercising as much as I did. I liked the Noom program that I was on. Mike Cainrod Piper lost a lot of weight on that. Congratulations, buddy, and you're keeping it off. That's super. But there was the way my schedule was and things that were going on. It was tough to stay on the Noom for me. I did better on the paleo, and basically they're almost somewhat the same, but Bass Piper and Mrs. Bass Piper, we do quite a bit of eating out instead of cooking at home, because by the time she gets home, she's worn out, and I'm frothing at the mouth, waiting to eat, and eating at 7 o'clock and 7:30 and 8 o'clock, that just wasn't doing it. So with paleo, you had a different eating plan it was easier to maneuver for me, and so we dropped the Noom. And Noom's a good program. Don't get me wrong. I lost 24 pounds on it when I was on it, but to keep it going was the problem for me. I mean, it's a great program, but everybody's got. It's kind of like everything's subjective. It's kind of like pipe smoking and cigar smoking. Our taste of tobaccos with our mouths and our palates are different. What you love, I hate, and what I love, you can't stand. The same way with these programs. It's really nothing but an eating plan. It's really just knocking out your carbs, knocking out, the sodas and the breads, all the good stuff that we've accustomed to. But with paleo, I was averaging about 3 pounds a week because I know men lose it a lot quicker than women. Me and my wife have gone that round. When we start on a program, she goes, "How come I only lost 5 pounds and you lost 15?" Well, that's just the way we're made up. That's because you ladies have got more of that loving pattern going on there that we don't have as men. We have to accumulate ours, and it's a lot easier for us to get the stuff off for some reason. But but anyway, enough said on that one. But I want to look at trying to really work on our health. I'm 61, Miss Base Piper's 63, so we're in that age group that, hey, we got to stop playing now. We got to get serious so we can see 83, and maybe 86 and be in good health. But but I looked back this about 2 hours ago. I went looking on my channel, and I said, let me go back a few. And I went back a few months. I'm noticing, now in my videos, I'm getting more of this fat, and this. I'm saying, okay, something's happening here. I'm getting bigger in the gut, and it's really starting to look like Santa Claus. Look at that when you push your neck down. Look at there. I'm getting all kinds of chins. Man, when I get my beard back, man, good night. It'll hide it all. But Dave just says, no, your face will just look like this by the time you add the extra beard on it. But I got looking back and about a year ago, and I'm going, holy smokes, man, I have put on weight. I went a year back to some of the videos I made. I'm going, goodness grief, Base Piper. Got to do something with that now. And so I got motivated. And I'm praying that with God's help, I can stay motivated. And I'm going to do it on just going back to my paleo way of eating and get my walking back. The problem with walking a lot of times is I got caught up with it the last go round. As soon as it starts getting hot here in Virginia, if you know anything about Virginia weather, it's atrocious. I mean, we have the humidity like crazy, especially during the June, July, August, September, oh my lands. So, it's even hard to breathe out here. I mean, all you really need is go for a walk and take you a bar of soap and just go ahead and take you a bath while you're walking, because that's how much sweat's pouring off of you. Or if you do take a shower, it does no good, because as soon as you're out here for 10 minutes, I mean, you're sopping wet with humidity. And so you curtail your walking on the outside. And if you don't have a treadmill on the inside, it's kind of like the same thing as when it's real cold in the winter and you really can't get out there to walk in 15 degrees weather. You get out of the habit. And then by the time spring gets back, you're still out of the habit. You're not kicking back in. You're not starting your lawnmower back up. And before long, another 2 years has gone by, and here you go. You start inflating again. That tire starts to inflate. And so I'm hoping that we can keep it off this go round. In fact, some of my praying folks out there, be praying that Base Piper, not only for the church to do well, but that me and Miss Base Piper can drop a few pounds. And my goal is to get to 200. That means I've got about 85 pounds to lose. But if we stay on it and it kicks in, my metabolism kicks in, probably within the year I can get that off or close to it. I would like to see 190 where it gives me 10 pounds fudging room. But if I can get to 200 and stay between 200 and 210, that'll be good for my size build. I don't want to look anorexic. And so, and my wife don't want me to either. It's hard to believe when I got married at 21, 41 years ago, I was 155 pounds, but I looked like I was anorexic. And so in 41 years, I done gained, 130 pounds. So I put on a whole new me. And so anyway, guys, trying to get some weight off, and I'm not smoking anything today. I just come from this walk, so I wanted to just get on here real quick and cut another video, and Hope everybody's had a good weekend. Hope everything's going well in your world. Everything's going fine. We got the new name for the church yesterday. We are going to be called and known as Cornerstone Baptist Church. Cornerstone Baptist Church. As Jesus is the cornerstone of the church. And so I'm taking a verse out of Psalms to have it for our church verse or a key verse, and that when we ever get us a building one day, whatever that might be, we're going to put a stone in the corner of the building, at the building outside, and have that verse on it. And church was going well. We've increased for the last 3 weeks. It was our high attendance. Our high attendance this Sunday was 26. So we've moved from 18 to 20 to 26. So we got around 30, 32 people, but you're always going to have those that's got to work, and they got to work on the weekends. I've got game wardens in my church. I've got nurses. They got to work weekend schedules, and so they're hitting and missing and flopping around, and then even have a few that are sick. And I got one member that wants to be with us, but bless her heart, the problem she's with at this church that ousted me as their pastor, she is living in the parsonage. She's a widow. And while I was there, I helped get her in there to get them to rent that home to her. I buried her husband a couple of years ago. And they used to rent the parsonage years ago, and then they moved out and got somewhere else. But when her husband died, she couldn't afford where she was at. So we brought her back over to the parsonage. That brings some extra little bit of income to the church as well. Well, now that the pastor has gone and started new work, she feels like she's in a box, and in one way she is, because she's afraid that if she starts coming with us, they will oust her on the street unless she comes back with them. And of course, I know what's going to happen, and I told her, I said, sister, it doesn't matter whether you come with me or anybody else. I said, they're going to oust you anyway, because if they ever find another preacher for that church, ever find another one, they're not going to stay, they're not going to last. But when they do, if they do need the parsonage, which that is a big mistake for any preacher these days to take a parsonage, because not only are you out of a job, you're out of a place to live. And I hate to say it, but I'm true and blue as a preacher. I don't pull any punches for the Christian side or the worldly side. But we've got some churches that aren't too churchy, that aren't too godly. And they will bring that preacher in, and if they get rid of you or you resign or they vote you out, like I waited for them to do with me, you're out of a job and you're also out of a place to live. You never, ever want to put yourself in that situation. As a young preacher and a young family, I used to say, only take the parsonage if you're coming in from out of state and you just need a place to stay until you find somewhere. Don't unpack your boxes, but just a few, and use it as a passing ground. But even today, the way things are, don't even bother taking it. Find a place to rent or do something. Do not get involved with the parsonage. Because I'm going to tell you, a lot of these churches, man, I hate to say it, but you've got some. I just come from one. You've got a gang of people in there, a cartel, that are cutthroat. They're no more Jesus than a man on the moon. They don't have no Jesus in them. And they got God in them, the God of this world, not the God of heaven. So that's dangerous. But she's in that situation now where she can't feel like she can come and join with us because they're going to put her out on the street. So I told her, I said, just hang tight. I said, but do what you feel like the Lord's leading you to do, because if they're going to put you out, they're going to put you out no matter what. And they're going to use whatever excuse they got to use. That's the ruthlessness of some of those that are there. I really pray for those people. Don't get the preacher wrong here, but I'm going to tell you, I've been at it a long time, folks. And it's getting worse. Our churches are nowhere close to what God wanted them to be. And we're making them more man-made. We're making them more ruling and controlling of the congregation. The pastors these days are in handcuffs. They can't lead. They can't do nothing. This is why you've heard this preacher say, and I will not do this. I will not do this. I will not lead in handcuffs and leg irons. I will not be controlled. by a congregation of, I call them Christian, if they are Christian, thugs, backslidden, carnal, fleshly people that need to be voted out. But instead, they come together and they get rid of the preachers. And this is why, with the new church that I'm starting, we are going to be a purging church. This is one of the problems in our country today with our churches. Our churches are not purging. We've got to purge. You've got to now. I've said in this last video or two, I'm not talking about purging someone that has an alcohol problem or a sin problem that they're dealing with in turn. I'm talking about pot stirrers. I'm talking about people that are causing strife and discord and dissension and just scrappers in the church. They want to start problems. They want to tear. You got to get that cancer out of a church, or it will eat you up. And that's what's happened at this past church that I was at. So I understand where she's at, and it's tough for her because she wants to be with us, but she's afraid. And it's just sad how Satan has got into some churches. And this is why, though, and anybody that's listening to Bass Piper's channel that's involved in a church, get to your pastors. And if you're not doing things to purge the church as Paul taught and Jesus taught in Matthew 18, you've got church discipline right there in Matthew 18. And why you've got it, because if you don't, it will destroy your church. Paul said it. Just read chapters 1 through chapters 5 of 1 Corinthians, especially about chapters 4 and 5. I mean, Corinth, if you know anything about the church in Corinth, it was a train wreck. The church was a train wreck. They had cliques, they had division, they had strife, they had people putting preachers against other preachers and past preachers and new preachers, and it was just a mess. They had sex coming out the gazoo, incest, all kinds of mess in the churches, and they wasn't doing nothing with it. Paul had to get on them about stuff, and that's the verse where you see a little leaven will spoil the whole lump. A little sin, you let sin go and it builds and builds, it will destroy the lump. It'll destroy the church. But the problem is we've got leaders in our church and people that are not getting rid of these people, because some of these people that take control are the money givers, the big money givers, and we can't lose them. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You better get them out of there. Well, we need that $2,000 a month or $3,000 a month this rich couple is giving us. No, you don't. Not if they're controlling God's work and controlling your pastor, because they've got you under control as well because of the money. Don't you think that God knows that if they leave, he knows how many he needs to send to make up the difference? Where's your faith? The problem is your faith is more in man than it is in God. God knows your needs. He already knows who your disgruntled ones is. He's scratching his head, so to speak, when are y'all going to do something with that? Because that's going to destroy you. So Bass Piper's glasses, I got these new Ray-Ban glasses, and man, it don't take much for my glasses to darken up. They work really well, as you can tell. I'm in the garage, and I'm having trouble seeing my phone. But anyway, I didn't mean to get on that rant. I should have kept that for a senior moment in church. My senior moments, I just need to go ahead and start a church senior moments of what I've learned in church. But I was thinking about doing a quick chapter by chapter revelation study on my channel that I just got over 19 months at this past church preaching. It wouldn't be 19 months worth, but I would like to do that. I think I had 1 or 2 subscribers say they would like to hear something like that, but I don't know. I don't want to get on that. My subs are starting to come up. I don't want them to go back down. But I shouldn't worry about that either, should I? But anyway, guys, I'm gonna get on off of here. It's been 19 minutes, but be praying for our church. Our church is doing well, and we're doing good. We're moving forward now. We can go get our federal ID number, our employer number, so to speak, and we can get our indoctrination, our man, my mind just went blank. Incorporation. We can get incorporated and not indoctrinated. We have enough of that in the world. incorporation, we can get our tax exempt numbers and all that mess we got to get. And so we can get all of that done, get our bylaws, Constitution bylaws, put in place, and then we can have our charter Sunday and have a big day and charter the church, and all the people coming will become official members of the church, and we can start rolling. And the only thing left is finding a building or some land that we can put a building on, and we'll be on the map. As they say, we'll be on the map, Jack. And but we already came on the map yesterday when we got a name for the church. Now I can be the pastor of Cornerstone Baptist Church, um, and so we're excited about it. So anyway, it's been 20 minutes. I'm gonna get on off of here. Hey, you guys have a great day and a great week. If I don't get back on here this week, and relax, have your pipe, and have a little stogie if you smoke one. And hey, God's still blessing, even through all the troublesome times of Satan, whether it's outside the church or inside the church, we're going to suffer persecution. So those things are going to happen. And main thing is don't get discouraged. Keep fighting the fight, as Paul said, and fight the good fight. Keep going. Because we're not going to have them perfect, glorified bodies and perfect people till God gives them to us one day and gives our bodies to us one day. We're going to go through all the problems of sin while we're down here on earth. So, anyway, you guys have a great week, and we'll talk with you later. Bye bye.